Welcome to the Health and Wellness Coaching Channel. I'm Dr. Bradford Cooper from the Catalyst Coaching Institute. And today we're going to dive into phase 2 of creating the vision for your business, your coaching business. Now, if you're saying, wait, phase 2, what do you mean phase 2? We recently did an episode that focused in on phase 1, which was the what, the why, and the who. Now today, we get the dream juices flowing. We're going to dive into the where. Where in that marketplace, that business of coaching marketplace, are you going to put yourself? So if you missed phase 1, might be a good idea to go back and peek at that one first. That'll set the stage for everything we're doing today. We've got a link to it down below, so easy to access it, and then hopefully you can come back and join us here. But today we're going to focus on that where. Now, let me give you just kind of an analogy to walk your way through this. We've been doing these coaching conversations in front of this nice little fireplace here. Now, that's one type of fire, but it's one type of fire. I've got here in my hand a lighter. That's another way you can utilize fire or be a tool for fire. I've got a match here, just a single little match, another option. I've got a candle. Today's my mother's 80th birthday. Super exciting. Got a candle. That has a different purpose than that one does. And when I say purpose, that's part of their design. This candle was not meant to be a fireplace. This match was not meant to be a candle. And as you develop your vision for your business coaching process, you want to be really clear on what is your purpose. And the where piece, after you've done the what, why, and who we talked about in the first video, the where piece will help drive that home. So let's dive into that a little bit. The clarification of the vision is what we're talking about here. You've started that vision piece. Now we're going to try to clarify it with the where piece. Now, one of the things you can go through is think about literally where. Are you going to be an extension of someone else's services? Are you going to connect with a YMCA, a fitness center, a doctor's office? Are you going to offer wellness coaching through something they're already bringing the clients in, and you're offering your services to that clientele just in a different way? It's an extension of what they're doing. Or maybe it's an extension of what you already do. Maybe you're a physical therapist or a nutritionist or a massage therapist, and you're looking at, you know what? I want a new tool in my toolbox. I'm going to create an extension of what I'm already doing, and that's really my where, if you will. Maybe you're a personal trainer and you're thinking, I want to broaden out my offerings. I want to extend out what I'm doing. So my location per se won't be any different, but what I'm offering as part of that will be very different. Maybe you're thinking you want to do some employee wellness type programs. That's the route that we went when we started our company in 2007. And we now have a chance to serve thousands of people around the country. There is a gap in the small business arena. So maybe that's an area where you have relationships and you're thinking, oh yeah, I think I'll do that. Now, you're not committing to life for this. A business plan needs to be pliable. You want to lay it out there, you want to put it in paper, you want to have it that you can access it, and it drives a lot of your decisions. But if something else comes up, an opportunity develops as you go through the initial stages, you don't have to say no to that. This just helps you focus initially, which helps you isolate the way you're going to devote your resources of time, money, and those types of things. So the other thing you want to think about is the structure in how you're going to deliver this. So if you're going to do employee wellness, are you going to do lunch and learns that will lead to the coaching? Are you going to do group sessions? Are you going to do a combination of lunch and learns, group sessions, and individual coaching? What does that look? There's not a right answer, folks. You can't scale down, you can't slide down to the bottom here and say, well, what does Brad say is the right answer? There's not. And frankly, we've changed our model over time as well. You adapt as the marketplace adapts, as it creates new opportunities, as it closes doors, you adapt with that. And so that's what I want to encourage you today is start with the where in terms of what you think would be optimal, and then you start narrowing that down based on how the market reacts to those kinds of things. Now, revenue per person, that's probably important to you. And if you'd like, we can talk about pricing at some point down the road. If this kind of stuff is valuable to you, please let us know. Subscribe down below and put in the comments, Brad, could you talk about pricing our services? Could you talk about marketing? What are the topics you want us to cover in this video series? We have some ideas, but we'd love to hear what you have to say. So in any case, revenue is probably somewhat important. Now, the way you put your model together will drive your revenue. If you do all lunch and learns, that's a very low revenue model. But you might not care. That might be the driver. That might be the thing that you utilize to encourage people to participate in the individual coaching. When you go into a grocery store, there's this thing called a loss leader. Sometimes it's milk, sometimes it's eggs. It's something that a lot of people buy. They put it in the back of the store. You'll notice the milk and the eggs is always in the back. You have to walk through everything else. And it's what they call a loss leader. So you walk back to get your milk, and in the process, you notice, oh yeah, I need to get that birthday card for so-and-so. Oh yeah, I forgot dinner stuff tonight. Let me get some of this. And so by the time you walk up front, you meant to come in and just get eggs. And by the time you're checking out, you've got a cart full of stuff. And I don't know if you're like me, I always think I'm going to just literally get the eggs. And I don't grab a cart or a basket. And then I'm walking through the grocery store with all this stuff, trying to balance it. So I think they need to have those carts like distributed around the grocery store for people like us. But anyway, back to the subject. Those are loss leaders. And the lunch and learns might be your loss leader. That's a wonderful strategy. I'm not pointing you away from that. I'm just saying if that's your only revenue stream, it's probably not going to get you very far. But as a loss leader, that could be fantastic. So identify those things early on and how you're going to approach it and how they complement each other. So lunch and learns, that can be a phase. Group sessions, a little bit higher revenue. Employee wellness, a little bit higher revenue, but you have large numbers. So your pricing per se won't be real high, but large numbers will help with that, help cover some of your costs. And then you get into individualized coaching. And then you get into executive coaching. And so as you go up each one of these tiers, the cost from your buyer's side is going up a little bit. Your revenue is going up a little bit. But your cost to get into that, the barriers to entry to do that, are also much higher. So just keep that in mind. That's how this all balances itself out. Here's kind of an easy way to get in. Here's a really tough spot to get in. But this might lead to this, might lead to this. So keep your eyes open for those things. Identify your where, that's what we're talking about today, right out of the gate and get it going. Now, once you have your where, then we want to bring together this full picture. So you've got your what, wellness coaching. You've got your why and your who. That's what we talked about last time. That's specific to you. You got your where. That's what we're addressing here. Once you have all of those put together, and again, I mentioned in the last video, write these down. Grab your journal. Spend some time. Get away for the weekend. Go for a walk. Whatever it is that is your process for gathering this stuff up, do that. And then that will allow you to pull it together and dream. And this is the phase where we get to dream a little bit. In a perfect world, what does it look like? And we all know the world's not perfect. Let me tell you, I've got plenty of stories for you. We've struggled. We've had our ups and downs. We've had some great years. We've had some struggle years, and you will too. That's part of life, and it's absolutely part of running a business. But at this phase, dream a little bit. What's your setting? Where are you going to be located? Is this out of your house? Is it out of that fitness center? Is it out of that physician's office? Are you renting office space? What are these things? Now, one quick tip with that is overhead is the great killer of especially small businesses. If you can keep your overhead limited, then you can weather a lot of storms. If you have a lot of expenses that are hitting you every single month, regardless of what your business is doing, that can be tough as you go through this up and down phase. So keep that in mind. So setting, size of your business. Do you want to coach 100 people a month, 5 people a month? What does that look like? Is coaching 5% of your business, lunch and learns, or 30%? You see, break these things up into, again, your dream world. What does this look like in your perfect world? The types of clients. Are you wanting to work with people in this type of industry or in these states, or where are your preferences in that area. So identify that right out of the gate. And then other specialty areas. And that's a lot of times dictated by your background, what you're bringing to the table, maybe your other education, training, knowledge, those kinds of things. So dial those in, put those all down, and then do a little dreaming. Have some fun with this. Because, again, I get it. The dream is a dream for a reason. But then once that's set, now we can do our gap analysis. Now we can say, okay, here's the dream. It's off the screen here. You can't even see it. But here's where I am now, realistically. What exists between those two? And how can I move from here to here? That's what we're trying to do here. So a lot of work in between those two, but that's where you want to start. This is exciting stuff, folks. So exciting. This is the fun part. I've started a number of businesses, including back in 2007 when we started our National Wellness Company. And that's where I'm drawing a lot of these stories. But I've also had ones that have not done well, that have fallen flat. And I'll draw some stories from those too. But I always love this part of the process. It's just fun to pull that journal out and just say, what if? What if it did all come together? What if it did work out with this schedule and this setting and these type of clients and doing this type of topics? And how cool would that be? If you don't set that target, you'll never hit it. So don't just wander in and go, well, I'm going to coach. Because then you're not. You want to have that specific, exact target. And doggone it, you might miss it by a little bit, that bullseye. Maybe you end up here in the next ring out or the next ring out. But at least you're on the grid. And each year, maybe you get a little bit closer. But be really, really clear about that where. Now, a lot of other tools over at catalystcoachinginstitute.com. I want to encourage you to go check that out. We actually had a series of episodes on the Catalyst Health, Wellness, and Performance podcast, which is our partner podcast. So if you enjoy podcasts, you may want to check that out. It's the Catalyst Health, Wellness, and Performance podcast. We'll have a link down below. But we did a series where we were so grateful. We had some of the greatest business minds ever. In fact, as I'm doing this video right now, we're about to have Dr. Tom Peters as our guest tomorrow. So it's super exciting. Greatest business selling, best business selling book of all time is our guest tomorrow. So we've got a series of those that might be helpful if this is the phase you're in right now. I'm going to encourage you to go check those out. So that's that. The tips in terms of the business side and the coaching side, that's what this channel is all about. The Health and Wellness Coaching channel is your channel. So if you have suggestions, if you have, hey, Brad, can you cover this? Yeah, probably, but we need to know you want it. So comment down below, tell us what you want. And by the way, speaking of comments down below, one of my favorite things with this stuff when we talk about the business is hearing about your dreams. So if you'd like a little feedback on your, again, from the last video, the why and the who, or if you'd like some feedback on your where that we've talked about today, put it in the comments. I do my best to pop in there and answer anything that you've got. So I'm happy to do that in this situation as well. So thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the Health and Wellness Coaching channel that we've just put together. And again, let us know what would be most helpful to you. I'm Dr. Bradford Cooper, signing out. I'll see you next time. Take care.